Now I'm really pissed off. Why is the United States of America incarcerating more people per person than communist China? I used to believe in law and order until I realized Congress for over 200 years have been making law upon law without expiration dates so that sooner or later we are all guilty of something. I'm not talking about the rapists and murderers. I'm talking about the whistleblowers and liberty-minded individuals who haven't hurt a single soul, but get wrapped up in the government's gainful pursuit of convictions and more inmates. Justice is the search for truth. Where is the truth in the gargantuan wrath of government officials with unlimited resources who prey on American citizens, especially those who cannot adequately defend themselves? No worry if there's no victim. No worry if the government's actions are unconstitutional. The government is here to serve and protect, we are led to believe. Do you really think justice supersedes power, money, and control? It doesn't. Let's take the Bradley Manning case, for example. Manning is a whistleblower. He saw evidence of wrongdoing, even murder, at the hands of the U.S. government, and he exposed them. Good for him, as far as I'm concerned. He has apologized for his actions, saying his depression led him to make unwise choices. Rather than discussing the underlying story here, the press is talking about Manning's sexual orientation, which is irrelevant. For goodness sake, he's only 25 years old and we want to put him in jail for 35 years. Even convicted murderers get 25 to life in New York State. There was no finding of treason and no one was killed. The need to use Manning as an example by sending him to jail to rot for decades should not be a deciding factor in the way a humane society deals with problems. People convicted of a crime, and I say it in quotes because incidences called crimes are not always criminal. And they are the same kind of so-called crimes committed by politicians daily, but they get away with it. So do prosecutors, judges, law enforcement, and so on. What about Adam Charles Kokesh, a decorated 8-year Marine veteran publicly defending our First and Second Amendment rights, hasn't hurt a single soul, is condemned for a 21-second YouTube video in jail, solitary confinement for who knows how long, awaiting trial for an act of peaceful civil disobedience. Even Second Amendment advocate Dick Heller, the plaintiff in the landmark Supreme Court case that ruled the D.C. handgun ban unconstitutional, said, Kokesh is a First Amendment political prisoner being held without bail for advocating for the Second Amendment. I interviewed Kokesh for an article for Human Events in May. This is what he told me. When law enforcement disregards the Constitution, they disregard the law. It was better to be protesting at Washington than sitting home and pretending that our country is doing great. The people need to pay attention because the government is not doing their job, he said. We welcome all citizens to sit and join us in opposition to a government that doesn't follow the Constitution. Yet Americans aren't cued into the fact that their own rights are at risk when someone else's rights are being violated until the government comes for them, and they will. Conservatives who doubt Kokesh's conviction should remember that even when we disagree with others on certain points, we still have the same rights. If we keep chipping away at the Constitution, no one will be free. Is that what America is all about? Arresting, detaining, and incarcerating as many people as possible? Damn our civil liberties, damn the Fourth and Fifth Amendment, to hell with the First and Second Amendment. They will keep us safe. They, meaning Congress, who make law upon law without expiration dates. They are useless slime buckets who spend money we don't have and can't afford. They live their lives in a bubble protected by politicians. They are politician colleagues. They are undeserving of the seat chairs they lay their fancy jackets on. Together, let's do something for the good of humanity and expose them all for spitting on the Constitution. Thank you for listening. Read my weekly article for Guns and Patriots by going to humanevents.com. Link to